Good, happy Wednesday morning, February 19, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's begin. First up, storm drops several inches ahead of school vacations. Ski areas anticipate timing. Incoming weather has ski area operators excited. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9, Kristen Carosa.
Explore the world just like J.C. Marie Smith with the City Advantage Platinum Select Card. With travel benefits at her fingertips, J.C. can fit right in at the center of the world's most vibrant spectacles. Experience more meaningful moments with the card built for your adventure.
It was a messy day in New Hampshire with snow, sleet, and rain covering most of the state.
The snow is coming down slow over a long period of time, which seems to be how this year has been so far.
Crews in Meredith spent the afternoon and night cleaning up several inches of snow.
It's challenging this week because of school vacations, and there's a lot of people in the area.
A lot of those people are here for the state's ski resorts. Thousands of families are visiting from Massachusetts, Maine, New York, and beyond.
I grew up skiing here, so it's nice to see the kids on the same mountain, and I'm really happy that they like skiing, because I grew up skiing every weekend and they don't get to ski that often.
Gunstock Mountain in Guilford saw roughly 5 inches of fresh snow from this latest storm, just in time for the influx of customers.
It's been warm, it's been sunny, we've got this great snow coming down now, which is going to be a big boost going through the rest of the week. So it's a big week for us, and it's really worked out well.
And there's nighttime skiing too at Gunstock, Tuesday through Saturday.
We've also got tubing and mountain coasters, so there's a whole lot of things to do when you're here rather than just go skiing. And it really appeals to people that come up, and it's fun to be out skiing under the lights. It's just going to be a great time to get out with your family and enjoy the rest, outdoor recreation. And skiing and riding is the best way to do it.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Fundraising efforts underway for Where Girl Kicked by a Horse. Family, friends, and community coming together. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9, Charisse LeClaire.
At Beltates, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltates Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
8-year-old Ava Whitney is continuing to recover tonight, airlifted to a Boston hospital after sustaining a head injury a week ago.
A couple of us have daughters the same age, and basically it felt like getting hit in the stomach. So we just were mortified.
John Renault is close friends and co-workers with Ava's dad and immediately jumped in to raise money for the family as they sit by their daughter's hospital bed, starting a GoFundMe for Ava that's already raised over $21,000.
He called me last Friday, I believe, after work, and just wanted to say thank you, over the phone. And I was like, whatever you need, drop of the hat, I'll be down there, whatever you need, because we're all friends and we all have kids. So, I can't even imagine what he's going through.
Ava's family telling us in a statement tonight, quote, "We would like to thank everyone for all of their thoughts and prayers during this time. We appreciate all everyone has done for our family." And the list of supporters is long, from the Hooksett Police Association raffling off autographed and framed Rob Gronkowski and David Pasternak jerseys, all the proceeds going to aid in Ava's recovery, who is the niece of an officer, to Washington, New Hampshire Fire and EMS accepting donations at this weekend's weekend's fishing derby. Sincal Chimney Hearth and Home selling wood stoves and donating the proceeds, and Center Woods Elementary School. Even complete strangers donating as Ava continues to make strides every day.
It's very nice to see complete strangers donate some of their time and money. And I've had messages on the GoFundMe that, we don't know the family or you, but we wish you guys the best, and, we pray for Ava. We'll still be there through the whole way through.
Charisse LeClaire, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire DMV launches new hotline focused on Real ID. Standard IDs can no longer be used to board flights starting in October. Here is a photo of what a Real ID looks like. Take a look. This is what a Real ID looks like with a star on the top corner here. So if you want to take a flight somewhere, you will need to get a Real ID. Change can be confusing, especially when it comes to something as personal as your license and identification. That's why the New Hampshire Division of Motor Vehicle has launched a new hotline to answer questions about Real ID. A new form of driver's license or identification card that includes a star inside a gold circle in the upper right-hand corner to show that it means federal regulations. You can obtain a Real ID in person at the New Hampshire DMV office, and now you can call 603 4 Real ID 603 473 2543 to learn more about the new requirements and documents needed to get a Real ID. Currently, only 30% of those eligible for a Real ID have gotten one, and we encourage everyone not to wait until the last minute, so as to avoid longer than normal wait times just before the October 2020 deadline, said DMV Director. Starting October 1st, Granite Staters will no longer be able to board a flight with a standard driver's license or identification card. They must have a Real ID credential or another form of acceptable ID, such as a valid passport or U.S. military ID, in order to board a domestic flight or enter a secure federal facility, including military bases. Certain New Hampshire DMV locations are open the second Saturday of each month from 8 a.m. to noon for Real ID transactions only. Those locations include Concord, Dover, Manchester, Nashua, Newport, and Twin Mountain. For detailed information about Real ID and the documentation required to obtain it, visit www.getrealnewhampshire.gov. Man accused of threatening co-workers at Merrimack workplace. Prosecutors say man told co-workers he had enough firepower to take out people. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
At Beltade's, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltade's Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Well, his lawyer says he has no criminal history, had never been arrested before this, and says that he's not a threat to anyone. But prosecutors say that the people who used to work with 29-year-old Corey Godinez say they're terrified and fear that Godinez will hurt them. Godinez pleaded not guilty today to attempted assault, criminal threatening, and other charges. Last week, prosecutors say his former boss at Lifeline Ambulance in Merrimack reported threats Godinez made, allegedly saying he would mow down the building and didn't care if coworkers got hurt. Investigators say Godinez was complaining about supervisors. While officers were at Lifeline, Godinez allegedly drove by and was pulled over with a handgun, AR-15, and ammunition in the car. Godinez's attorney says his client regularly drives around with firearms.
So to say that he was driving around with guns and that there was ammunition in the vehicle does not suggest that he was going to involve himself in any kind of criminal behavior.
The defendant says, I have enough firepower to take people out, and he knows crackheads to take people out. Also said he is friends with cartel people to take people out.
Godinez's mother was in the courtroom today but declined to comment. He is being held tonight, pending another hearing later on this week. Reporting live in Nashville, I'm Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Reward offered in search for man convicted in officer's death. Officials say they believe Kevin Paul had help leaving state. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Amy Camino.
We know how dangerous he can be. We know what his history is, and we wanted to make this a high priority case.
U.S. Marshal Jeffrey White protects his identity while sharing that there's now a nationwide manhunt for Kevin Paul. His image is on the U.S. Marshal's most wanted wall.
On the poster, we did mark him as armed and dangerous because of his criminal history with firearms. We also have offered a reward for up to $2,500.
Kevin Paul is a repeat parole violator. He was arrested 23 years ago after standing by while his friend shot and killed Epsom officer Jeremy Sharon, then fired at police during a chase and robbed a store at gunpoint. He was granted parole in 2015, but returned to prison 5 months later on firearms and drug charges. An arrest warrant obtained by News 9 Investigates states that Kevin Paul was last spotted at his sober living house in Manchester on February 9th. The 41-year-old told his parole officer his GPS monitoring bracelet wasn't working and failed to check in.
It's on the parolee to plug in just like a cell phone every day.
And now U.S. Marshals are expressing frustration that the parole board released Kevin Paul into the public last September.
I was hoping this wasn't going to happen again before I retired, but obviously here we are.
And the parole board was not available to comment on this story. Tom.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. NASCAR driver Newman awake, speaking, officials say. Newman, well known to fans at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Jennifer Crompton. Okay, we do not have video for you for that. NASCAR driver Ryan Newman is awake and speaking with family members and doctors after a serious crash in the last lap of Daytona 500, race officials said. Newman, 42, has been a familiar face at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where he has won 3 races. Justin Cummings of Nashua was at the race Monday when Newman crashed. We knew it was bad because you can see on the replay he just got slammed at 200 miles an hour in the driver's side door, Cummings said. We saw the car roll with fire and sparks on. Sorry about that. With sparks on the driver's side all the way down, and everyone was just silent. Officials at New Hampshire Motor Speedway said they were also concerned. The fans really love Ryan, said David McGrath, New Hampshire Motor Speedway General Manager. The fans know him well. He's been in the sport a long time, and he's just a good guy all the way around. Newman won his first NASCAR Cup Series at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in 2002, his rookie season. He has won 2 more since then. I think that there's obviously a big sigh of relief when he heard the news come down that he was okay, McGrath said. He's in a very serious condition, but non-life-threatening injuries. McGrath said the industry has made big changes over the years, engineering safety into the cars and into the track. He said he believes safer barriers on concrete walls that absorb impact and ongoing improvements in seats, restraints, vehicle construction, and trained response made all the difference. That really makes me feel good as a promoter, and knowing the track did its job, that the safe barrier did its job, and Ryan is recovering in the hospital as we speak, McGrath said. U.S. futures point to a slightly higher open. U.S. stock index futures were slightly higher Wednesday morning. Sanders prepares to meet Bloomberg on debate stage tonight. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
To the race for 2020 tonight, and former Mayor Mike Bloomberg rising in the polls. He will be on the debate stage for the first time this week. The other candidates preparing to take aim. They have said he is trying to buy the presidency. We do have breaking developments tonight in this, what Bloomberg is now promising to do if elected. ABC's Eva Pilgrim on the campaign trail in Nevada tonight.
24 hours before Michael Bloomberg takes the debate stage for the first time in this race, Bernie Sanders sounds ready to rumble.
Here is the message. Anybody here worth $60 billion, you can run for president. And you can buy the airwaves. My friends, that is called oligarchy, not democracy.
Bloomberg's campaign manager says the Democratic primary is now a 2-man race. The billionaire former New York mayor versus the self-described Democratic Socialist senator. That doesn't sit well with Pete Buttigieg, who came out of Iowa and New Hampshire riding high.
We're asking people to choose between a revolution and the billionaire who thinks that you can just, You can just buy your way onto television and win that way.
Later, I pressed the former South Bend mayor.
Do you think he's buying the race, or do you think he's just trying to beat Donald Trump?
No, he's definitely trying to buy the race, but here's the thing. It's not that simple. You have to actually be willing to look voters in the eye, to take questions. At some point, you've got to be ready to be challenged.
Bloomberg's rivals making it clear that tomorrow night, the gloves come off.
This is about our values. What kind of a nation we want to be.
Elizabeth Warren tweeting, at least now, primary voters curious about how each candidate will take on Donald Trump can get a live demonstration of how we take on an egomaniac billionaire.
Eva Pilgrim on the campaign trail for us. She's in Las Vegas tonight. And Eva, Michael Bloomberg, as we know, hasn't been on the debate stage since 2009. We've been told he's prepping with his team. But you've also learned some breaking news just before we came on the air tonight about a new promise from Bloomberg should he get elected.
That's right, David. We are just learning Bloomberg's campaign saying that if he is elected president, he will immediately put his company into a blind trust and then sell it. He knows his wealth will be an issue on the debate stage tomorrow night, and they are trying to get ahead of it. David?
All right, Eva Pilgrim with us again tonight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.